Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Michele Jutrisa and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up here in New South Wales, Australia. Well, I hope you're a little bit warmer than what I am today. Because I live in the Southern Highlands, where we're not that high up as in some areas are, but if it's snowing around Thredbo and that, we get a lot of the cold winds coming down the mountain. So today is pretty wet and pretty cold. We've gone from sort of warmish days over the last couple of days to freezing cold, get your winter woolies out the early hours of this morning. So I hope you can join me. I hope you're nice and warm. And after this live, I think I might be making myself a hot soup to have to warm my body up. So thank you for joining me today. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from, and let's get started. So today I'm going to be having a chat with you about, you may have heard around the grapevine in the last couple of weeks that we've got a new product coming in Stamping Up, and that is Paper Pumpkin. Now, Paper Pumpkin in America has been around for quite a while, and it is quite exciting because we've all been wanting to get this for many, many years. I think I've been in Stamping Up for about 15 years, so I think for most of that time, it's sort of like, why don't we get Paper Pumpkin here? We have the kits, which are very similar to Paper Pumpkin, but Paper Pumpkin is a subscription. Now, you can subscribe to it over a period of time. You could do just one at a time. You could go pay for 3 months, or you could pay for 9 months, or you could pay for 12 months, and this will be starting on the 1st of April. Now, at the Stampin' Up on stage the other week, we were all given a Paper Pumpkin kit, and this is the April Paper Pumpkin kit that will be coming out in April. Now, there is very strict rules in this. You have to subscribe between the 1st and the 11th to be able to get this Paper Pumpkin. So that's the 1st of April to the 11th of April, and that will happen every month when you're subscribing. I don't know whether I have got the cost of the subscription at the moment. I've just been printing off lots of bits and pieces, but that one I didn't come across. I know it is there somewhere, and as soon as I find it, I will let you know. But what is it? I've got some notes here, so let me just tell you what it is. It's a subscription kit program by Stamping Up, and it's your one box for creativity success. So everything is in there that you need. Everything you love about paper crafting in one package that is delivered to your door as a surprise each month. Now, we get a bit of a sneak peek about what's going to be coming, but we don't get much more than that. The Paper Pumpkin each month. It's currently available in English only, so that suits us fine here in Australia since we're basically English-speaking people. Paper Pumpkin, as I said, is a subscription. It's designed for anyone who wants to create quickly and easily and create beautiful handmade projects anytime, anywhere. Subscribers get a new surprise every month, and one that's great for all types of crafters, and it's an ongoing crafting experience that you will keep and your customers keep you engaged. Sorry, I'm just reading off this. Hi, Vicky, how are you? Okay, each kit will contain, now usually there's 3 designs, card designs, 3 of each card. You'll also get a Perspex, now I've got one here, block, one of these in your kit. Never throw it away. When you subscribe, you'll get one of these in your first kit, but you won't get any more than that. So in the following kits after that, there will not be one of these in there. So it comes in the first kit that you order. So always keep that handy. Or you could just, grab if you've got these, you could swap it out and use one of these. So you'll get, this one will come in the kit. That's the kit style one. And this is the one that you can purchase through my online store, okay, which is really good, especially it's got the groove around the side of it and easy to hold in your hand. you'll have everything in there. So you'll have all your, if there's ribbons involved, if there's adhesives, whatever, everything in there will be in there. The only thing you may need to grab hold of is if you like using liquid glue, you can use your own liquid glue, or maybe a pair of snips. Okay. It's automatically shipped out to you once a month. Let me see what else is in here that I can share with you. You'll also get an ink spot. Okay, so you'll get one of the little ink spots, and I'm going to open my box in a minute, and I really haven't even had a good look at this. I've only just sort of had a sneak peek. You'll get all your cards and envelopes. You'll get a stamp set, and everything will be pre-cut, okay? And you'll also get all the embellishments. So let's have a look at what this April box it holds in there. Now, what I'm hoping to do is I'm going to actually subscribe to this myself so I can get it. And then sometime after the 11th, haven't worked out exactly when yet, I will do a unboxing of when I get mine. You would like to have extra dimensionals. You like your dimensionals, eh, Vicky? They're a little bit different. I don't know about the paper pumpkin one, but I know with the kits, they're slightly different to our regular. They're a little bit higher than our regular dimensionals. So sometimes you need something with a little bit more height in it. So that's good. Now, as I said, this is the kit. I will be subscribing to it. I'm hoping that once I've received it, I'm going to jump online, show you what's in my kit, make up a card as is, and then maybe through the rest of that month, make up some alternative cards and share with you those alternatives so you can learn how you can stretch your kit to get a little bit more out of it. But let's get started. Let's have a look, because I really haven't had a lot in this. So when it comes to you, let me bring this down to my desk. So when it comes to you, it's going to look like that, okay? And this is what you're going to receive. It's not going to come with an order or anything like this. This is completely separate to any other orders you may place with Stamping Up. Okay? Comes wrapped up in some beautiful tissue paper. And then you open it up and you have got a stamp spot. Now, this is one of the new in colours that's coming. I don't know whether you can see that. It's Peaceful Pine. I'm waiting for my order to come. I was hoping I'd have it here by today with all my new stamp pads and everything in it so I can show it to you. But at least I've got one. I can start playing with one. It comes with one of these small stamp sets, okay? And you can create more cards. This one here's got very sentiment heavy. So you've got a lot of sentiments here you can use on lots of different cards. It's got dad, son. So this is a very male-orientated product, this one. You've got words that says happy birthday, thank you. Let me try, I'm reading it back to front. Happy Father's Day, older, wiser, better. You are a lifesaver and you are an inspiration. And then there is some plants there. I can't remember what they're called, the ones that you see a lot around waterways. There's one that looks a bit like rope, and there's one of 3 little birds. So that's the stamp set that comes with this one. So let's take this out. And as you can see, I haven't even taken the plastic off it. And let's open this up and see what we've got inside. Let me find my scissors. So we've got that and that. And there's my scissors just there. And let's open this up. So these are great. You could take these on holidays with you if you're going somewhere, because there's a few, like 3 of each card. You can invite a couple of friends over and make them together. There's all sorts of things that you could do with this kit. And I'm sure you will find different ways you can use it. This one here comes with a small roll of tear and tape. So it looks like that's going to come in handy in this kit. We have got, I don't know whether you remember, a few years back we had a set that came out which had these elements in it that looked like little rocks we've got that sort of thing again in this, which is, they were very popular and quite good. And some dimensionals in there. We have got some blue. Now, I believe this is, I did get print off. Hold on a second. Let me find the right print off here. Okay. And I know this will probably be on the instructions as well, but the coordinating colours in this particular set. Now, this is called Lakeside Retreat. Now, the beauty of this particular set here is it coordinates. Now, something I did learn today. We get a sneak peek of, as I said before, of 3 months worth of Paper Pumpkin coming out. Now, usually one of those 3 months will coordinate with a product suite from the catalogue. So this actually coordinates with a brand new suite from the upcoming catalogue that we're starting as of May. So you'll get a sort of a little bit of an introduction to that suite, you could say. So it's male orientated. It's called Lakeside Retreat. It makes 9 cards. It's three cards, 3 of each design, 3 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces, a stamp set tailored to male recipients, and the coordinating colours are balmy blue, misty moonlight, old olive, peaceful pine, which we've got in our little mini stamp pad there, and pecan pie and pool party. Okay, so let's have a look. So this here would be Misty Moonlight cardstock. So that's for one of our cards. Oh, look at those beautiful envelopes. So we should have 9 envelopes there. Yeah, I think I really loved this when I saw this in the catalogue, and so I was really pleased to see that this is what they've given us, Vicky, because I find there's not much out there for men, and this is one suite that sort of really caught my eye, because having all sons, I'm always looking for something for men. So this is one of our card bases, so it's double. So if you're looking at doing alternate, you could probably very easily cut that in half and make a couple of different cards out of that. But let's keep going on and having a look. Here is another card base, which is like a wood grain effect. We have all of these pieces here to put our sentiments onto. We also have some white die cut pieces, also again for sentiments on there. More card bases, and that's so pretty. I really love blue and white. I'm a blue girl. I love blue. So I just think that's gorgeous. And then we have all these lovely die cut images. So we've got that plaid there again. We've got this lovely ocean type view there. Another lovely cabin on the lake type view. A little bit more wood grain. A couple of oars. A life jacket. A bike and a fish. So we've got those. There'll be one of those for each set of 3 cards. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Then we have these pieces here. So we've got a circular piece that's cut out. That is just gorgeous, and that'll be in the pecan pie. Another piece in the blue. What did I say it was? Misty Moonlight, and another piece in the pecan pie. Now, what they also too bring out is later in the month you could purchase a die set that will coordinate with these products. And what it is you'll get a die set. It's an add-on that you can purchase. I think it's around about the 21st of each month, and it will coordinate. It's one die set that will coordinate with all 3 months. So it'll coordinate with April, May, and June kits. So that will be good as well. So there's those, and then we have a piece of cardboard, which is just our backing piece, and of course our instructions, which we do need. So let's have a quick look at this. And just move this down for a moment. Oh, happy birthday, Nicole. I hope you're nice and warm. And I'd be glad to be curled up with a book and the cats as well if I could. Yes, it's going to be great. So I'm hoping that some of my lovely friends on here may subscribe because, I think this is going to be a really good bonus for Stamping Up. And I mean, the thing is too, that you can gift this to somebody. So if you know of somebody who you would like to send one of these kits to, you can actually do that. Don't ask me how as yet, because there's still a lot of things we've got to learn about this. And I think as we go along, we'll all learn more. Hi, Kay, how are you? Okay, so let's have a look and see what we need, because we're going to make a card. So what do we need for each one here? So I'm going to turn this to this page here, and let's pull out everything we need for each card. So for the first card, we need our card front that looks like that. So I'm going to take one of those, pop those to one side. We also need, now I've already pulled out those, so I'm just going to pop those to one side. And we're going to need all of those. So I'm going to pop all those to one side. We'll need that one. We will need one of each of these. So we need one of those, one of that one, and I would say one of these. Pop those to one side. And then we need these pieces here. So we need one of that one, one of that one. So what I'm going to keep to one side in the next, I would probably say early April, I will actually do some alternate cards. That'll give me a bit of time to play and show you what you can make alternately with this particular set here. Now, did I pull out one of those? I don't think I did. Let me have a look. 1, 2, we need one of them. So I'm going to pop all those safely into my box. So I've got them there for later. I've already got an idea of one alternative that I've been playing around with. So that's good. Oops. And we need only one of these. So I'll leave that one there and I'll pop those over there too. Please excuse me. Okay, so for our first card, we're going to be needing this piece here. We don't need those two, but I'm just going to pile everything up. So the best thing to do when you're doing one of these kits is have a look at everything you need and then put little piles of what you need. So I need one of those on that one. This one here needs to go with this one. So if I've got all of these lined up, cut my fingernails the other day, now I can't pick anything up. All of these lined up there like that. I know that one's going to go on there. Got those pieces like that. This one here is going to go on that one. This one is going to go on that one. That one onto there. So that one has to go to there. Now that one there is longer and thinner. That one is shorter and stubbier. And that one is more curved. So let's pop all these out. So we need that onto that one. I just love this picture. It is so gorgeous. That one is going to go on this stripe one here. That can go onto that one. Our balls. And of course, when we get the sweet, if you get the sweet that goes with this, you could probably use portions of the sweet to recreate these cards too. So it's always good to keep your instructions, keep this piece here, somewhere. I've been checking out what some of the demonstrators in America do, and or even not even just demonstrators, but some of the customers over there, what they do. And one lady had a very good idea, and she actually files all of these away in a folder. So she punches holes in it and puts it into like a ring binder, and then she's got them there as ideas to come back to, because sometimes you just have to change the images out, but you can copy the layout. Okay, so this one here goes with that one, goes with that one. The bike. As an adventurer, I suppose doing an outdoor venturing. Don't know whether my son would say it'd remind him of scouts and venturing, but I know that now, which one does the fish go? That one. So double check, make sure we've got everything out. Yep, before I throw that away. Okay, so let's get started. But I do know that my sons have all enjoy the fishing, so I think this is going to be beautiful to give to my sons as part of their birthdays and so forth. And of course, this is geared towards Father's Day, which is later in the year, so I'm going to be prepared for the first time for a long time for Father's Day. Okay, so let's have a look. So here's card number 1, which is going to be this one here on top. So all the instructions are all given, and it's all fairly self-explanatory. So what it's telling you on these first 2 here, you're going to need, on all of these, you're going to need all the different stamps. You've got the ink spot, and you're going to need these 2 stamps here to stamp this Happy Father's Day on that one. And if you don't like the sentiments, of course, you can easily swap them out. So don't think that just because this is the way they've done it, this is the sentiments they've done, then you have to do it this way. Hello, Marie from Northern Alberta. How are you? It's great to have you on here. It's been a little while, I think, since I've seen you on here, which is great. Okay, so let's start with our stamping. So we need to stamp on this little piece, and we need to stamp on that little piece, and we're going to do some stamping on our card base. So I'm going to pop these to one side, and I've got some blocks here to one side here, and I'm going to grab our stamps and let's pop some of these up onto our blocks. So we've got our, now there is a name for that. Who can tell me, what is it called? Looks like a bottle brush, not a bottle brush, but a, you always find it around waterways, and the tops of them go quite brown and golden. I can't think now what they're called. But anyway, then we need that one. We need our Happy Father's Day, which is this one here, which we can pop onto there. We also need, I need another block. Let me grab this one, because we're going to need that little bit of rope there. And I need another one Luckily, I've got a collection of some of these. And I'm going to pop my birds on there. So let's grab our, now this is such a beautiful colour, this Peaceful Pine. I'm just going to open that up. So I'm just going to run my scissors across there. What I like to do with these is just open up one side. And that will just leave the other side still hinged with that sticker. You've definitely hiked to that scene. You've even paddled and canoed across it. Yeah, I think my boys would agree with you on that one. Okay, so we're going to, since I've got this one here in my hand, I'm going to add some ink to that. And we're going to add some birds up in this top left-hand corner. So let's just pop them at an angle and let's stamp that down. Beautiful. It's a very juicy little ink pad, that one. Okay, I'll just clean that off now. Bulrushes, yes. Catkins. Okay, is that what they... Yeah, I'll probably know them more as bulrushes, I think. Okay then, so that goes onto that one. So I've stamped that. Probably could have stamped off because it's got a little bit thick because it is a very juicy ink pad, being the first time it's opened up. So let's grab our little sign here and we're going to pop Happy Father's Day. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to grab a foam mat and put it underneath. But I'm also going to grab a little bit of scrap paper just so then I can maybe ink that off a little bit if I think it's a little bit too inky. So I've got that onto there. I don't know whether you can see that or not. Going to very lightly ink up my stamp there, and I'm just going to test it first because it is very, very juicy, as I said. So I'm just going to clean that and then do that again. Oh, Marie, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you know that all our love and thoughts are with you and your family at this time then. And I'm so glad you joined us today. Now I'm just tapping that very, very lightly on there because I don't want that thick wording. So let's see if I can get this, line this up in the middle. And we're just going to go down. It's a little bit better, not quite as better, but it is a little bit better. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we're going to stamp our rope top and bottom. Just going to open that up again. I should be able to just fit that nicely there. Let's have a look. Okay, that up. So we want to put one down the bottom. So it's going to be like a sign, a hanging sign, I think. And then one at the top. So how's that? And I'm hoping that ink will just dry down a little bit lighter because it is quite dark at the moment. Okay, so there's our sign. So we've got one more thing to stamp, and that is this little one here. And what we need to stamp on that one, if I just find my stamp set over here, is it says, let's have a look at the wording. It's very small. Okay, I think it says you are. Let's have a look at the big picture, because that is really small writing and I don't have my magnifying glasses on. Yeah, you are an inspiration. So let's grab that one. Unfortunately, I don't have this block anymore, but I do like it because it's a nice little one. Okay. So again, let's just very lightly tap that on and just test it over here. Yep, just want to really just tap that very, very lightly. And we're going to pop that. I'm sorry if my head is in the road. Right onto that. Okay, not too bad. Not too crooked. Okay then, so let's have a look at putting our card now together. Oh, the other thing we have to do is we have to put some of these on. Almost forgot that. So we did our birds at the top, but we also need now where's my scrap? Here. And we're going to just ink that up again. Again, just tapping on quite lightly. And they're going to go just about there. So just down in that light lower corner there. And now that I'm looking at this, and it has, the colour has quite softened down quite a bit. I don't know whether you can tell, but it's not as dark as what it was now that it's dried off a bit. So let's pop all the bits and pieces on. So what we need to do is this piece here is going to go over onto this side, and they're recommending that we pop dimensionals onto that. So let me grab, I'm going to just use the ones I've got here since they're handy, and I'm going to pop some dimensionals onto the back of this. Oh, it says 2 at the top, but just be very aware that this is not really wide. I'm wondering whether the other dimensionals might be slightly smaller. Ah, they've used mini ones, that's why. I think I'll have to, I'm going to take these off. Luckily they're not stuck down overly well, because they're a bit tight putting those on there. So we're going to go back to what's in the kit. So in the kit they have mini dimensionals. So we're going to pop 2 down there. Two at the top. And then 2 about there. And another 2 about there. And then that is going to go just about there. Let's get rid of those since we don't need those anymore. Okay, so on the back of this one here, they put some tear and tape, so we might as well use that tear and tape. So it tells you, not so much with words, but with diagrams, exactly what you've got to do. So they've got a little picture there of the tape, and you can see that they've suggested putting a strip of tape on one side of that one and then 3 dimensionals on the other, and then on the back of the Happy Father's Day, a little piece top and bottom. And then again with the sentiment on this long banner one, they've got 2 dimensionals at one end and a little bit of tear and tape on the other, and then the same with the fish because we've got different levels. So let's just grab our tear and tape there. So they're suggesting we pop a piece of this top and bottom. Now I usually just run, whoops, let me just move this up a bit further. I usually pop that on, and then with my fingernail I then tear that off. But you can use something like a credit card or something like that. Then on this one here, they recommend if we flip that over to that side, we're going to pop a bit of tear and tape down on there. And then 2 dimensionals or 3 dimensionals. 1, 2, 3. There's usually more dimensionals than what you need on these, which is good. Then this one here, we flip that over. They say to pop a little bit of dimensional there. Let me grab that fish. Tear and tape, I should say. And then 1, 2. I hope I've got that the right way around. Yep. Then this one here, we're just going to put 2. Let's make sure our fish is facing the right direction. So if I flip that like that, so my fish is facing that way. So we're popping 2 dimensionals behind the fish head. And they're just 2 side by side, just like that. They didn't provide enough rocks in the kit. You need at least 3 packets. I think I've still got my old ones, to be honest. I think I've got the ones from because I don't use a lot of embellishments like that, and I think I have still got all my old ones from before, but I did hoard them because I did like them. Okay, let's take this piece here, and we're going to take our backings off these. And that is going to go, whoops, we want the top of the banner, so it's like a sign. And I know that the die cuts that are going to come in that you can purchase extra as an add-on like a sign. So I'm assuming that that can be this can be attached hanging from the sign. So that will be interesting. And we're going to take the backing then off this one. Sometimes you have to make sure you give that a good burnish to make sure that that tape is well and truly adhered, otherwise it won't come off. And we're going to stick that, and it's probably around about there on that. Then this one here, let's take the backings off there. And that's also going to, so we've got tape on here which is going to go on that piece, and that's going to go across that like so. And then This one here will then go across that just like that. Now you probably could have put another piece of tear and tape in there or a little bit of glue because it's only really just attached on this side there. And then we need a couple of these. So let me grab, might take a pick tool. And we need 5 of these. So we're going to have, so we need, and they're going to go on the base of our reeds there. So 1, 2, 3, and one of these longer ones. Probably actually could have sat them up a little bit higher. But anyway, that looks good. And then we need to put another 2 over here. So 1. And 2. And there's our first card completed. And that is gorgeous. I love that. My dad's going to really like that. It goes so well with those envelopes. Beautiful. Okay, so let's have a look. What is our next one? So card number 2. And that's going to be the one I've got at the very bottom, of course. This is the one with the bike on it. This is another one I really like the scene. So let's have a look. Let's take our card base. Now, let's just have a look, see what we've got to do for stamping-wise first. So we need that piece and that piece, and we're going to stamp on this as well. So we need this one here. And it's telling us we're going to be stamping. Okay, we're stamping our reeds twice and our birds once. So let's start with our reeds. It is a nice masculine card, isn't it? So we're going to stamp one lot of reeds over here. And I'm not pushing down too heavy on it because sometimes when you push down on your stamp a little bit heavy, the stamp sort of spreads a little bit. So we're just got to be lightly ink and lightly stamp. Oh, I wish this rain would go away. Okay, and then over here we want to stamp another lot of reeds, probably about there. Whoops. Looking good. We want to grab our birds again. And I just need to, I think, and I'm going to stamp them again at a bit of an angle, just in the top corner on the other side. That's a better stamped image than the last one. So that's that one. Then we have this one here, and we've got to stamp happy birthday. So let's remove that and pop it back on here. We're going to grab happy birthday, and we're going to grab the other one is, it says older, wiser. older, wiser, better. Okay. Let's pop this one away. And I don't think we need that one again either, so I'm going to pop him away too. Okay. So let's get this nice and straight on our block. That will help me to stamp it nice and straight. Just going to grab my scratch paper again just to have a little bit of a stamp it off and see what it's like. Just need to ink that up a little bit better. Make sure this is nice and straight. And we're going to stamp that at about there. There we go. That's that one done. And then on this one here, we want that older, wiser. And where did I put it? Because I didn't put it on the block, did I? I know I took it off. Whoops. Now, this is something I don't do very often. Look, it's stuck right down here on my glass plate. Okay. Pop that there. I've got to go through all my dies because I have misplaced a die somewhere. I don't know where. Okay, so we're going to stamp that right there on that one. Older, wiser, and better. And I think that is all our stamping. So now let's pop this one together. So let's grab our tear and tape, and these are all our bits and pieces. So saying we need to add dimensionals to this one. Now this is probably where you could go back and use the bigger dimensionals. So we need dimensionals on the back of that one. We need dimensionals on the back of the bike. So there's one up there, one in the middle, 1, 2, 1, 2. This one here, they're recommending 3. And then tear and tape on the back of this. And on the top up there. So let's tear and tape on that. Just give that a bit of a burnish to make sure that's all down. This one here needs tear and tape. That's our wooden plank. And then our older, wiser needs dimensionals. So 3 on that one. Okay, So let's grab our card base. Take the backs off. So who is excited about seeing Paper Pumpkin? And then this one here is going to go right there like that. And I know I said I was going to try to do some alternatives. Is everybody wanting to see alternatives? Put it that way. Now this one here, we need to adhere this piece across the bottom of that. So let's take the backing off that tape. And that is going to go right across the bottom of our image there, just like so. And then this is going to go onto You Are Nicole. That's good. I'm hoping also, depending on the designs that probably needs to go up a bit higher. They give us, I'm hoping even to find use a few of these, not this particular, these images here, but see if I can find images that I can use on scrapbook pages as well. Because I think, some of them also lend themselves to that. So now we need to pop our signs. So let's take our backings off our signs. And let's pop our sign on there. So it's just slightly overlapping that little piece of timber. Yeah, it is always good to see other people's ideas and everything. I know I enjoy looking at what other people do because it gives you inspiration. It's sometimes you don't quite see something in one way until and then that's going to go over the top. So it's sort of like goes over the top of that banner and then overlaps that timber a little bit. Yeah, until you see what other people do, and then it just sort of sparks ideas and you can create something that's completely different and completely yours, but it's the inspiration, can come from other people. And it's always good to see that. Okay, then our bike is going to go just tuck underneath there a little bit. And that's going to go about there. Then again, we need our little rocks. Now this time we only need 3 of these. So I need 2 of this one. And what we're just going to do is we're going to go I may have my bike a little bit, I don't know, maybe it could have gone a little bit higher, but anyway, that's okay. 2, and then I'm going to grab one of these and pop it just on that, like that. So there's that one done. Okay, last one. So let's bring this one in. I think this is probably going to be one of my favourites. This is the one that I've already worked out an alternative card design, which I will show you how I made. I haven't made it as yet, but I will show you sort of later on, once the more into April, once this is sort of all starting to go out and people can start playing. So let's just grab our card base here. Whoops, we don't need that little bit of rubbish on there. Fold that in half. Now we've got to do some stamping, of course, so we don't need that one. Let's pop that there. We don't need those nor those, but we do need both of these. And it looks like, again, we do need to stamp. Oh, we need to stamp on our card base. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So we're stamping on this one. So let's start with this piece here for our sentiment, and it just says, thanks, Dad. So let's just clean a few of these off, because I don't think we need the birds any longer. We don't need happy birthday. And that one's going to change. So let's grab these. So let's remove the happy birthday. And we need the word Dad. I'm actually going to change it to Son, because I've already got a Happy Father's Day, and my dad is the only dad in our family. My husband's father passed away quite a while back, so we don't need one for him. And then we need to change this one out for, and it is going to say, you are a lifesaver. And actually, my son Robert probably is my lifesaver at the moment. There we are. It's that one there. So this one here, we're going to stamp on here, Son. So let me grab my bit of scrap paper again. Oh, we do need our rope bits again. So we need these. Let me see if I can find another block, a small one. We don't need a huge one. Okay, so oops, probably got too much ink on that one. Good, we're just going to stamp off, and let's clean that up. Okay. So we're going to go Son, and we want to take that down towards the bottom half. Then we have the word thanks. Probably actually could have taken Son down a little bit further. That's okay. We'll make it work. There's a lot of ink in that little spot. Ugh, got it on my fingers. So that's that. A little bit crooked, but anyway, that's okay. It's a handmade. And then this one here we're going to put on there. Now this one here, we need to stamp it over to one side. It's not in the middle. So let me just stamp that off a bit. And we're going to stamp this one towards the left-hand side. About there. Now we need to do some stamping of the reeds on here. So what they've done is they've stamped 1, 2. I'm just going to clean that for a second because I hadn't cleaned it. So we want to probably put one about there. Because it's going to come out from underneath this. So if that's sitting about there, it's always good to give yourself a little bit of a guide. And what you can do is grab a pencil, work out where you want this to sit, just very lightly draw out a couple of marks on there. And that'll just give you a bit of a guide. If you do it very lightly, and you could probably rub them out quite easily. So we're just going to ink that up. And we're going to pop one going out about there. Ink this one up and the other one coming out at about there. Now I haven't got them both at the same, like it's not mirror imaged. I've got this one here a little bit lower because that's what they've shown here on the image here. So one's sort of sitting up a bit higher and one's sitting down a bit lower. So that's the stamping on that. Now, if I just grab a soft eraser and then I can just very lightly try not to put it in the ink because you want to make sure that ink is well and truly dry before you put anything near it, but blow that away. That will be sufficient. So I've still got a little bit of a pencil mark there because I want that ink to thoroughly dry a bit more before putting anything too close to there. So what they've recommended doing now is popping that to one side, and then let's pop all the dimensionals on here that we need to. But this time I'm actually going to, because we're going to put dimensionals on here, I'm going to use my bigger ones. So I'm just going to, I just felt the other ones were just a little bit too small on the other. Pop one there, and I'm going to pop another one just there anyway. So that's that one. So we put dimensionals on the back of that one. This one here has got tear and tape. Two strips of that. Need you guys to have a buzzer every time I go off screen to buzz me, to tell me. Okay, this one here, we need to put a bit of tear and tape at the top. But it's got dimensionals, and I'm using my mini ones here at the bottom. So that's that one and that one. This one here is tear and tape. That's that one. Our oars. We're just going to pop dimensionals there and there on both of those. And then they've got a little bit. Well, this is going to be tricky. They've just got a little bit on the ends there. So what I'm going to do is grab my snips. And I like to use my edges for this. And I'm just going to cut a few little strips with my edges. And I'm going to run it that way. So that's those ones. And then on our life jacket, they've just popped a couple of dimensionals. One about there, one down there, and one there. Okay, so they've been quite precise on where they've put them. So I've tried to put that on there as close to what they've done as possible. So now I think we've covered everything with right there. I don't think we've put anything on the back of this one. We need some tear and tape on it. Now I'm going to just try something because I'm not overly happy with that. But I did notice that, if I go back to my box, they've given a couple of extra of these pieces here. Now, this is a bigger one. So they've actually given me 4 of each one. And I only need 3 of each one. So I'm going to take one of these out. And I'm going to re-stamp, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a slightly bigger block. I'm going to use this one. Actually, I can, and I'm going to pop all of these onto here. And the only thing that's not going to work with this is the bit of rope because it's top and bottom. So I'm going to pop that there. Now I'm putting these pieces all upside down. So you'll need to make sure that these are all clean. It's going to help me to position all of these a bit better. So I'm going to put that one there. Keeps wanting to stick to my fingers. That's the only problem. Just want to move him across a little bit. Pop that one there. Grab that little bit of rope. Pop it on first, and it might just give me a little bit more of an idea of where we're heading. So there's my rope. That one there. They're going to be fairly close together so we can get another bit of rope up the top. And I'm going to get this block and pop it all onto one block. Gently remove all of that. Whoops, I did get a little bit of green on there I didn't want, so I'm going to flip that over and stamp on the other side. Hadn't cleaned that as well as what I thought. Let's see how we go. So what we want to do is, where's my scratch paper? Because I want to give that a bit more of a inking. Line all of that up. Stamp. That's looking a bit better. And now I just need to stamp that second row of rope along the bottom. Just like that. I think that looks a lot better. A lot straighter anyway. So let's pop some tape on the back of that one. Let's trim that little bit of adhesive there off. We don't want that overhanging. So we need this piece here. That is going to go on our sign like so. And now we're going to start piecing all of this together. So let's bring all of this in. So here is our, I'm going to pop this on first. Sometimes you just need that take a pick tool just to get underneath that and lift it up. And this is going to go on there just like that. We'll take our backings off now. And now we're going to line that up on our card over the top of that. Give that a nice little push down. Our next piece to go across is our banner. This can go across there. We can stick our sign on. We just have to, probably could have put this down on first. Just want to slip those little pieces underneath that banner piece. Just like that. And I think actually I would have been better off putting this, to see if I can take this off. May not be able to. Let's see if I can very gently lift that up. Because I really think that other sign, okay, let's pop that just there. This needs to go on first. Don't want to have it too close to the bottom, otherwise it all looks like it's falling off. Let's put this piece back on now. And then that can sit there. It's probably still, I probably could have had this circle part sitting higher up. I think I'm heading down to here. This needs to be up the top here a little bit. But anyway, we will make this all work. There should have been a little bit more water in between the house and that, but that's okay. And then we're going to grab our oars. And we're going to pop one there. Actually, that needs to, I don't like that on there. I'm actually going to take that off, and I'm going to swap that out for a glue dot, because it's going to be sitting on this, and I think it's just going to be a little bit too high. That's better. And then I'm going to take that one off as well. I'm going to put a glue dot in the back of that one. Just like so. Probably this one could have gone up a little bit. I don't know. It's sort of like, because you've got dimensionals on the bottom there, I'm actually going to pop that down a little bit lower. They've got theirs a bit higher, but and then we want the dimensionals to be on the, and I'm going to take that one off because I just feel like it's just not giving me, because I want that to be up a little bit higher there. Now, anything like that and you sort of feel that's a little bit unsecure, look, just grab a glue dot and pop a glue dot underneath there and glue that down, and that will hold that down nicely. So there's our last go. You'll be getting this kit. Great, Nicole. So I really think that that's going to be a lot of fun. And I mean, April is only a few days away, and I will have in April an alternative for at least one of these cards. Hopefully with all of them. I'll see what I come up with. I've got an idea of what I want to do with this one. So I hope you will join me when I do that. Now, that won't be next week. I'm not quite even sure where Easter is. So I won't be live on Easter Friday, on Good Friday. But I may jump on. I mean, this one here, when I do these, it may not even be on a Friday. I might jump on one evening after I finish my my day job with my alterations. It just all depends on how busy I am that particular week. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing what this paper pumpkin is all about. And of course, once we get starting to get closer to the 1st of April, there will be more details up on my Stamping Up online store if anyone does want to subscribe to the paper pumpkin. So I hope you can join me in that, and I hope you all have excuse me, a lovely weekend. Stay warm if you're here in New South Wales, because it is pretty cool this weekend. And I'm going to go make myself that cup of soup to warm myself up. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope to see you next Friday, but if it is Good Friday, I won't be on because I'm not quite sure yet what I'm doing family-wise. Excuse me. I still got this dreaded cough. But have a good week anyway. And I will post these up on my blog fairly soon. Okay, thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.